Audio. Audio's on.
Okay, all right.
Just so you know.
I guess we can go ahead and open. Okay, it is June 15th, 2026. I'm officially opening the Board of Health meeting for the town of Millis at 6:03 PM. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting is now officially open. All right, and to start the meeting off, we have the nurses report. Will we bring that up on the screen, please, John?
Let's see.
This Director June 9. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
So, for the month of May, there were, 3 cases, 1 hepatitis C, 1 enterovirus, and 1 anaplasmosis. These case numbers were low, and I verified them with the Department of Public Health for accuracy. I will say that, in the first, 3 or 4 days in June, I have exceeded 3 cases, mostly tick-borne illnesses, and, not only Lyme, but anaplasmosis and babesiosis, which are more serious, and they require investigation and a report to the state. Camp inspections and verification of immunization records for the staff and campers will begin in early June, and we have been out to Sparhawk to talk to the folks there and inspect those documents. The town emergency preparedness providers have been read in on the World Cup advisories, including crowd control, heat, emergency, safety, and communicable disease prevention. I get a status report every day, and including these factors. And the Millis Medway Public Health Nurse position has been posted, respectfully submitted in McManus. Are there any questions?
I have a question on the age of the tick-borne disease. Is it, I know there's only 3, but is it kind of young, old, or just?
I have not seen children,
Okay.
adults and a lot of older people. And we did a program last year on prevention. And that probably could be repeated. It was not well attended, but most of the tick-borne problems occur in people's backyards. You think it's in the trails and so forth, but it's really at home. And many people don't like to use the recommended products because of the toxicity or to the environment or whatever, but there's not been any alpha-gal. Do you know what that is? That we have not had any of that. It's mostly Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and parts of the Cape. But that's very serious too. So okay. Thank you very much. Is 6:07 PM, and we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the reorganization of the board, AP signatures and health agents. Appointments. All right, so. Reorganization of this board, we need a new chair, which. You don't want to vote me new chair, and you want to do it again?
So I'm happy to let
You're
you
brand
get it.
new?
What?
All right. Okay, so we just gotta vote.
Well, can I just say real quick? So historically, what happens is like every year we switch who the chair is. For what, 10 or 20 or more years. I don't really have time to do it. And so when,
I did this year.
so she did my year, so this is her year. And we usually don't have someone that's new, like do it because it's.
Yeah.
It's just too
Correct.
So we.
Yeah.
Us having been on the board before, we're thinking that Carol would do it again. Obviously, you're.
Okay, I'm
welcome
to
to.
Carol.
Okay, I was gonna say, you're welcome to
Carol votes herself.
do what you want, and then at the end of this term, we'll decide. You know,
Yeah.
what we wanna do. Maybe I'll have more time or something. Yeah, I forgot you took my last one. I was thinking it was this one. Anyway, I'm happy to have you do it again.
Me too.
Okay, so, Richard, you're nominate me for chair.
Yes.
And Matt, you're seconding.
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye. All right, thank you. Well, the next is, gotta vote on who's allowed to sign the, financial, business of the board, generally the chair. If you have strong feelings on it. Otherwise,
yeah, so I'll just add the tiniest bit to that. So it used to be, I actually don't know how it used to be, but at some point it became much easier to have the chair just okay everything. And so that's what we do.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have to vote on it once a year.
Okay,
We have it written down nicely in the Dropbox, but I'm having a hard time opening it. Someone wrote it up. Or maybe it's what we did last time.
with that,
Yeah. Would you like me to read
yes,
this?
please.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to think of the best way to do this. Make a motion that we approve the chair of the Board of Health, Carol, I can never remember your last name, I'm so
Hayes.
sorry, Hayes. To have accounts payable approval pursuant to MGL Chapter 41, Section 56, to authorize the following signature below to sign and approve bills. It is understood that this provision does not eliminate the responsibility of the other members of the board. I have a second.
second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now you get to sign it. Dropbox is very angry at me. I've been working on it.
All right, next is, appointment of health agents for the town of Millis. And I know in the Dropbox, do you know how to get in Dropbox?
Yes, I get. Which file do you want me to? open?
Um,
Is this where the inspector, we deal with that one?
no,
No.
actually.
Oh, here it is, the fiscal year 2026.
Yeah, so under June 15th board meeting, it's appointment of chair, 227 agents and AP signatures. So just open up the 2027 agents for appointment.
Eventually.
Okay, so, okay.
What I don't remember, do we have to read all the names out loud or can we say is on the document?
Please, on
I
us.
think you can just do it.
We can just do that, right?
Do that, right.
And submit the document.
Right.
So this was an email that was sent out on the, okay, so many here.
Yeah.
The third, that Dropbox,
He's seeing why I don't want to be the chair.
the fifth,
So, and the link to this, the Zoom link that Heather sends out to the meeting. Good day that Heather sent out those.
So I think she updated it, right?
oh, well, yeah, okay, well, the last link from Heather was just the agenda.
Is to open up the meeting, like the active email.
Get the Dropbox.
See, there's the Dropbox link.
Yes,
That'll get you to our Dropbox. So this is shared documents between the board members. Well, they have put it on, we're not open direct from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can see all these documents, and anytime you wanna go in there, you can look at it, in here, there's a, there's the meeting, shared file, 6/15/2025.
Open this one,
The main one.
this one.
Let me scroll down a little bit, yeah. By date. Board of Health meetings by date. And then go into June. Yeah. There's June. Oh, there's appointment.
Oh, there it is.
That one. And inside that one, there's the document for health agents that we're going to be voting on. Approving. So. I guess motion to approve the FY 2027 agents for appointment, health agent appointments. As listed on the document, so entitled FY 2027 agents for appointment. Can I get a second?
Second.
You, if you did a tobacco burial and health at the same time, this,
Yeah, amending my motion. To. Motion to approve the agent for appointment for the following positions of tobacco, burial, and health appointments. As listed on the document FY 2027 agents for appointment. A second,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
How do you qualify to be the chicken rabbit person?
that does. You're up on the farm.
Yeah, right.
Right. They're the
I'd be that.
animal control.
Oh, okay. That
Town
makes sense.
officers.
That makes sense.
So that's who that person is, Erin,
Yeah, so Aaron Mella and Kelly Ward are
animal control.
animal control for the town of Millis Medway. Yeah, the student smoking is the school principals, the burial agents, I'm not sure where they come from. And the health agents are
pretty much yes.
pretty much us,
Okay.
so welcome to health agents. All right, so that is approved. Well, next on our agenda, it is 6:15 PM.
Time. Might be a good luck charm.
Wait,
Yes, water management plan.
yes, the RGE Water Management Plan.
Which file is it? Is it the W and P,
Yes, the
RGE, ODT? Sure. Okay, that's it.
go back. Yeah,
Now the file,
WPM,
yeah, the file that came through and that's a draft, but it's still.
I said Dave, from the DPW coming in too, Dave from the DPW.
Oh.
That's good.
Is Dave coming?
Yes,
Okay. No, great.
Well, I heard he was on vacation this week. I guess not.
Dave, DPW?
That's what someone told me, but obviously they weren't.
Yeah, it's not today.
Maybe he just loves working here so much. It's his vacation.
Right, just doing it for free.
Sorry about that. That's all right.
all right. All right, so we're gonna be discussing the RGE Water Management Plan. I guess
So, you're aware it's still in draft at this point. John had asked me earlier about a final, and it is not ready yet. It will be ready for the next meeting. I think we did report out before that we had our education session, and that went very well. We have since, done the flushing of the hydrants, two shots at that, because we ran into an issue the first night, which was rectified, so we were able to get through it in the second night. We have now also received the as-bills from the toll surveyor, which was quite educational for us. So between that and the information that we got from the flushing, we'll incorporate that into a final report from our consultant. I brought along a copy of the educational pamphlet, which I think you all have at this point. And I sent the film of, we had a little bit of trouble with that. I sent the film along to you, the video of the training session that we did.
I forgot that. You may have sent it, I don't know.
Oh, okay, well, I can send it again. So that went
It
very
went
well.
really well. It was it was well attended and what was nice is because we had posted all of this in written form and the pamphlet, people really didn't have. Like, there weren't like a million questions that I think people felt informed, right? And understood what their role in keeping track of their own homes needed to look like, especially if they were snowbirds or leaving for long periods of time. And I think the instruction was really clear. So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, the last big question is the one that nobody's ever gonna answer, which is why is the cold water temperature warm in the height of the summer? And that wasn't the targeted mandate there is no answer.
but the good news is that, we did the flushing more strategically, way more strategically than has ever been done before. And after educating the snowbirds with the timing that was perfect for them returning from being away, we have not heard the reports that have started at the beginning of the summer every year. It's still a little early. We still have these, cool nights. So, but they were starting, like by now, last year, we were starting to get those emails and phone calls. So that hasn't happened.
No.
Don't know.
Well, and interestingly enough, by the way, I can say I'm one of the houses that sort of hits at the incline of Glen Ellen, which is that sort of area that the top of the hill. And we still have very cold water for cold water, which is really cool. So, interesting about whether the hydrant flushing had any impact on that or not, but we're
In
right now.
our home was one of the ones measured over the many times that these visits were made as we studied this. And my husband, just about every morning, measures the water and it's still.
Yeah.
A little bit warmer than like last month, but nothing to be of any concern. So we'll monitor that piece and we hope that the flushing has helped. But we have learned some more things with the as-built, so we're still developing some of that information. So at this point, I thought that once we were done with the educational piece and depending on how that was received, we could ask for a release from the letter of concern. And I didn't know if we were gonna postpone that because the final isn't here, but it's not gonna be substantially different from the draft. It's just making it
More formalized.
more formalized.
It looks like the appendices are probably really there for updating.
They're add-ons, they're good things.
Yeah.
Updates to the hydrant
Yeah.
but there's nothing, significant, so it would be honestly lovely. To say, we've done everything that was required of us, we've spent the time, we've invested all of the best people. To conduct all of the work and get it done, so, in an ideal world, we would love to vote on the release.
We have learned.
We learned a
More
lot.
than we ever intended to learn.
Oh, wait.
So you are very prepared, if it should ever come up again.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything to add?
I do not know about reading those.
So, do you give a release from that letter of concern? 'Cause I don't think it has a legal standing, that's the thing.
It doesn't have part of the.
It doesn't have a legal standing, right? It's kind of a.
It's just like, hey, we were concerned.
Wait.
Yeah.
But I don't think it
Mhm.
didn't have any legal weight, like you
Yeah.
can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
we felt deeply compelled. But I think what would be, I don't know if you would consider doing it, but I think for, peace of mind of our community. To say even if there was a letter that could come to us that said, we feel everything we've asked of you has been satisfied. I mean, something that helps us be able to put that out there to our community.
So essentially that we've met your concern.
Right, that would be deeply appreciated, and for no more important reason, than we do have some people who are putting their homes on the market, right, and they're gonna want, if anybody's looked at minutes, if anybody's read, usually people request the last 3 months of minutes, and we've always in our board meetings kept the community updated. It would just be a nice conclusion to what's been a long year.
To our standing agenda item in every board meeting.
Every single board meeting.
The board could do a follow-up letter of concern,
We can do that. We can develop it, that you have you guys take a look at it, decide if you want to use it.
Yeah, something to the effect of you engaged experts, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that we can formally approve or
Right.
anything like that, but
We can acknowledge that what you asked us to do, we
Yeah.
in fact did and presented all of it as was required. I mean,
that
that's
feels
kind of-
reasonable.
Does that feel, I was hoping for a little.
Essentially, you can vote to support though, but I'm not just saying that. Vote to support. It's not really a vote,
Understood,
it's a support vote, I guess.
understood, understood,
I don't know if that exists, but it sounds.
understood.
we'll look up something.
If we,
At the next meeting, we'll do a vote of support or whatever. it's called.
Yeah, and
We
we'll be
figure
here
out.
next meeting will be here as well, as will our consultants.
Okay.
It probably would be good to see the finalized report in here from that person, just to wrap it all up.
Also to have our consultants here at a time, also when Nicole isn't present today, so.
Yeah.
To have everyone
It'd be nice.
at the same time. would make me look,
Maybe we can ask Toll to show up at the next meeting.
yeah. I will.
Maybe we can still.
that'd be great, thank you.
Yes, I have, or
Well, I don't really have anything else to add to that.
hopefully June 13th meeting, we'll get to see this, nice copy.
Your vote. Perfect, you mean, is July 31? That's okay,
Yeah.
just checking, I just wanted to put it in my calendar, so I had it.
Yep, I already.
I think that's our next meeting, July 13th, is it?
Is that one gonna be at 6 o'clock too, or 7 o'clock?
We always start at
That was
7.
7, 6.
Yeah.
I have it in my calendar, but I'm.
July 13th. I don't think we have a meeting.
No,
I think we look at it as a good date.
I mean, may as well look now, it looked reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Next board of health meeting, July 13th, 6 p.m. That's enough. Move on to next.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're gonna lead you to your board. Thank you.
So exciting.
Have a great.
Beginning of the summer.
Thank you. So enjoy your pool.
I was gonna say, how's the pool going?
Pool's going well.
Why don't you come down and?
You're welcome to be our guest, but a little side note funny is that we are actually getting complaints from our residents that the lifeguards are too strict.
Jacob, really happy.
Yeah. That's
We are literally getting complaints that they are too strict.
Right.
Did you sign it? I think.
Yeah. All right.
And someone, you sign this as
Well,
well?
every other hour, with, you know, with 15 minutes, everyone has to get out of the bush.
Right.
So someone brings their kids down for the day, they don't get it.
You can sign this, front, pass it on, sign it, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. Have a good beginning. Want me to sign in first, please? That'd be great.
But with an IGE, am I allowed to comment? I know it both of us across like the main terms.
Probably depends on what it is.
Well, you could say you're abstaining, but then you can speak as a public member.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say that voting, you probably have to abstain.
oh,
I don't see any
Voting,
problem.
I
You
would
ask
say,
as
but-
many questions as you want.
I've
But you-
been drinking the water.
It's all right, you're still here.
And after reading that study, I think it's one of the best waters in Massachusetts.
Doesn't have to be water.
We have a second PFAS plant going up, yeah.
Got 2 minutes.
Unless this will actually.
Seriously, I'm not
Okay, well,
If either
It
of
was
us
actually
actually come
filmed.
one day, I'm allowed 4 guests. So, I don't know, young kids, family, no, you can come any day.
it's like every day we do it.
We just can't all do it up, because then we'd have this weird meeting in that pool. We're never allowed to be in villas together.
Do you want to sign
This
this?
is cool, this is a forum.
Yes.
I know.
We can't be.
Oh.
We can invite us, but you guys go right.
No.
Yeah, I can-
Or we have to open a meeting.
Oh, yeah, we can open a public meeting, but then it has to be posted.
Yeah, so like if we all go to town meeting, we have to like John
That
knows,
same stuff.
post it, we have to formally open a meeting.
Couldn't you just call it gathering information?
You think so? Think so.
Okay,
It depends on the level you're at, so we can get into it. When you're down here, it's, all the rules apply to you.
if I'm sitting
Let
over
me see what
here,
this does with
you can do something. I'm allowed 4 guests,
Okay.
but don't come between 1 and 3 because they kick you out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, to the pool attendant.
Yeah.
I know this is very kind of.
Yeah.
And I actually have one of you like hold, you might have to hold a piece.
Yeah. So this is how it goes. Yes. But these the.
So we're not feeling good.
Just gotta open it.
Let's move in.
Okay, it's 6:30 PM, next item on the agenda is the EHR for Woodland subdivision, which is to continue to file discussion to the July 13th meeting per applicant. All right, so moving on to the next agenda item is the 6:30 PM. EHIR for the middle and high school. We have some presenters today.
Yes.
So who would like to begin?
I will begin. I am Michelle Callahan. I'm a senior project manager at Niche Engineering. I'm the civil engineer on the project and I'll prepare this environmental health permit application. I can start off by giving a brief intro of the project, go through kind of some of the existing condition stuff, the proposed condition. And then we also have Fontaine Brothers here, who's the construction manager for the project. We can talk a little bit about the project phasing and then the earthwork. So as you may or may know, this is Mills Middle School High School site. It is going to be an addition renovation completed to the building. I will just add, Lee Robertson is here from the Pat Architects, and if there's any specific building related questions, you can turn it over to him, but just to give you a quick overview of what's going on. The existing stormwater for the site, there is no real closed drainage system other than some of the existing roof leaders. There are existing dry wells that infiltrate roof runoff. Otherwise, all of the stormwater on the site in the existing condition just runs off untreated. An area of concern that I want to point out is this existing parking lot just sheet flows directly towards these wetlands. So there's a lot of erosion and issues happening here in the existing condition. For water, the existing water service for the building goes up and connects to a 10-inch main that goes out and runs out to the driveway here. They're also same thing, the sanitary sewer exits plan north of the building goes up towards the Clyde Brown site. We'll just. Yeah. Either. So this is our proposed site utility plan. You can see here on the building, here's the proposed addition. There will be a wing of the school that will be demolished. Again, Fontaine Brothers will talk a little bit about phasing for that. The overall stormwater design you can see is colored here in blue. So as I mentioned before, there's no real close drainage system other than those dry wells. So some of the existing dry wells will remain in the proposed condition on the portions of the building where they're not going to be changed. But otherwise, for this proposed addition, this new parking lot area that's getting reconfigured, and on the west side of the building and the other reconfigured parking areas, we are providing a closed drainage system which will capture the stormwater runoff and bring it into the ground and infiltrate. In this eastern parking lot here, at the surface, there'll be a surface fire retention basin, which will capture the runoff from the proposed reconfigured parking area. Once it gets through that fire retention section, it'll go into the larger extended reservoir course below the chambers for additional storage. That does overflow and on some of the larger storms and come out towards this flared end section. So we're really capturing, treating and infiltrating what we can, and then the overflow will discharge towards the wetlands as it does meet existing condition. On the western side, we're capturing the runoff with catch basins, providing some water quality treatment, and then directing it to subsurface infiltration systems on that side. Those systems are sized to infiltrate the 100-year storm. Like I said, there's no existing closed drainage on site, so there's nothing for us to really overflow to. There is an emergency overflow set up here. Basically, in any storm larger than the 100-year, it'll bubble out of this existing catch basin and then get directed towards an existing swale that runs along the roadway there. We do have several smaller bioretentions scattered throughout the site, promoting well development, green infrastructure. And we are infiltrating, there is an increase of about a little over an acre in the pervious area. We are mitigating that increase and again, providing the required total suspended solids and total phosphorus removal. A little bit about the sewer. So same thing, the sewer will exit the plan north side again. There'll be a new connection. Some of it will go up again towards Clyde Brown School, that same main there. You can see the sewer line here is highlighted in orange. There is one small difference. We do have a new grease trap, a 6,000 gallon grease trap associated with the renovated cafeteria. That will run out and connected to another sewer manhole over on the western side. Just because of the depth, we couldn't make it work with this existing connection here. I will just note, we did run all this by DPW. They reviewed these plans. We had a meeting with them and they were okay with this strategy. And then finally, water. I mentioned the existing water. There is no existing water loop on the site. As part of the proposed condition, we are creating a fire loop around the site, relocating some of the hydrants that's located here. Again, those were reviewed with both the DPW and the fire chief for those locations. I think that is, unless there's questions here about any of this, I can turn over to Fontaine to talk a little bit about the phasing and the earthwork.
The first piece of the handout that you have is our construction phasing plan. So the first page here, phase 1A, essentially represents the mobilization next spring. This would be, establishing our temporary entry here at gate A. And then also this access and laydown area that is outlined in orange, which would also be our construction fencing. We're not anticipating stockpiling large quantities of soil on the site. There will be about 4,500 cubic yards of export in phase 1 and another 6,000 plus cubic yards of export in phase 2. Just to accommodate some of the subsurface drainage as well as the new building foundation. So we do show some areas of small soil stockpiles, which will essentially be, whatever working piles or, structural, fill that they're importing. The second sheet of this, represents, once, school is out next fall, we take custody of a large area of the site. To start, to begin building the addition, on the east side of the existing school, and then on the west side. There is, some, parking area and subsurface drainage areas, that will get built during that summer. The last page, this represents, what we anticipate the site to look like next fall when school's back in. So we'll still have the orange area, with site fencing around it, still continuing to build the addition. But we'll have, established these three parking areas as, temporary parking, while the construction project is happening. And then also noting a couple small areas of soil stockpiles, which again would just be, some working piles for, either gravel or structural, sub-base materials that would be coming in. The last sheet in the handout, this is sort of our the heat map. Which was developed by one of our subcontractors. So this essentially shows where we anticipate, soils being cut and filled from. Initially, at the blue area, the building footprint. There's a couple of things going on there that will be initially a cut down to subgrade, and then there will be some structural fill materials that will come back in to bring it up to the structural subgrade. Any questions in terms of phasing or soil management or any of the excavations?
Reasonable to me.
Okay.
I just want to mention, we did get a peer review letter from Steve Bambino. We want to do some of those comments. One thing I didn't mention is we did do soil test pit explorations in all of the areas of the subsurface basins. The soils were consistent throughout, really sandy material. The only place where we found groundwater is on this side of the site, which extends closer to the wetlands. The system is designed to have more than 2 feet of separation to that estimated seasonal high groundwater. We did provide mounting calculations with that too. That's much of that.
This question, Steve Lee.
Yeah.
Steve, how you doing? Are you going over the peer review you did? Do you go over that in the waivers that they're looking for? You guys are looking for at least 3 or 4 waivers, aren't you?
Yeah.
True?
Correct. Yeah.
The EHIR.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
you
we
should
do
just
not-
quickly go over that, just
Yeah.
so we know what's going on.
Sure. So, just to introduce myself, my name is Steve Lee with the Brady Group. I did the peer review for this project. Through the Board of Health. I'll just summarize my comments. That we had. The first one was just to make sure that site plans have been reviewed by the fire chief. We've been informed that they were reviewed by the fire chief. We asked them to provide a 2-bar grade, excuse me, for any outlets over 15 inches in diameter. They added that onto the details, so that's not, it's not gonna be a problem. So, for this next one, our comment, BOH 1, section 12(1). In order to satisfy the requirement of this, they're requesting a waiver. For this one, they're reducing volume and flow rate to the study points per the stormwater handbook, which is their reasoning for requesting that waiver. From our perspective, we don't have an issue with that. Most projects to reduce volume and flow rate nowadays. Comment number BOH number 3. Their slope is a 3-to-1 slope for their bioretention areas. this regulation states that it should be 4 to 1. They're requesting a waiver, because of the existing site and it can be, tight. They're using a 3 to 1 slope. From our perspective, we're okay with this. That's a pretty standard slope. But again, we defer to the Board of Health. Side slopes, they commented, side slopes will be stabilized during construction. It maximizes the volume and the treatment of the basin. So again, we have no issue with that. Board of Health, number 4, I can confirm that the volume of the basins will be graded at 2%. Again, their response was this was due to grading and limited space available for the bioretention basins. The part of the basins are flat, they're not, so up to 2.5%. So they're gonna request a waiver for that. That's pretty standard. As far as what I have seen in that the basin is flat. So from our perspective, that's okay, but again, we defer to the board. They asked for a waiver for performing in situ field boring tests for the permeabilities of soils. They did extensive soil testing out there, and the soil tests were showed loamy sands, gravels. For all of their infiltration basins, they're using 2.4%. However, they did not, when they were out there do permeability tests. They assume at the 2.41 inches per hour, which is the hydrologic soil group A, which is standard for this kind of these kind of soils. So a waiver from that requirement. The 2.4 is, like I said, it's consistent with the HSG A soils. So again, we have no issue with this, but the board we need to confirm that. We asked for a cut fill report, which was provided, just to confirm that the earth removal standards would apply. They do, I believe they do. It was provided. Yes, we had another, under the same section. BOH number 7 also references not increasing or decreasing surface water flow from the site. For the same reason stated before, they're asking for a waiver. They're reducing peak rates and volumes to the study points. We had a comment about fire alarm and police call boxes, and if they were proposed or required. The town does not require them, so that comment is fine. We provided a comment about making sure that there's a specific note about signs saying danger and keep out around any excavated areas. And then any other measures that the board sees fit. That could be a discussion. I mean, I'm sure the phasing is very succinct, so. But the applicant has added a note onto the plan set and the erosion control sheets. There's another comment about the slopes of the bioretention areas. They're supposed to be at 4 to 1 and they're at 3 to 1. Again, same response. The side slopes will be stabilized during construction. 3 to 1 is pretty standard for the industry. We provided number 11. We just recommended that a representative of the town be there to observe the in situ material, the existing material prior to the placement of the stone, the infiltration of the infiltration basin, subsurface and surface, and specifically subsurface is important. We had a question about an infiltration rate that was used for the bioretention area. Their explanation actually made sense when they provided this letter earlier today, and I went back and checked the HydroCAD, and it uses 4 inches an hour for the media in the bioretention area. but then that goes into a storage chamber, so. It's an accurate model, of what's actually out there, and that the infiltration to groundwater is 2.4. So again, that comment was addressed sufficiently. And then we asked for, to provide a cross-section of their drainage swales and how they would be stabilized. And again, they provided a cross-section of their drain swales. And they told us that erosion and sediment control blankets would be used for stabilization. All in all, it's a sound, drainage and site design from our perspective. As I said, there were a couple items that the board should talk about in your regulations. If there are any questions on any of this, I'd be happy to answer it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I have a list of 4 waivers of, were being requested. Section 12.1 is to allow the decrease of control.
I have a list of 5.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
5.
they
Well, them are
changed it today.
overlap.
I changed it.
It's the one from like 4 hours ago. Yeah, 15706 listed and requested waivers.
So if you on yours right here. You said this today, is section 12.1, 12.4, 12.6, 13, 2B. And the last one, section XIVF.
Yeah.
I never saw that before in some of these, we used to have two waivers, but this is.
Yeah, so I laid it out the way that it was in the peer review report, so it references, so really it's. 4 of these are talking about the same 2 things, so that's why it's a little bit confusing. I just tried to keep it consistent with the way it was laid out in the report. If I can certainly revise this, it's pretty well.
I think the 2% and the 4.1 is almost the same exact. So I don't know. I think motion 1 and motion 2 and motion 3, there's 3 real motions, right? Like waivers, the ones that, remember that one I handed out to you on this one. So this one here, I think if you look at this one, this is more accurate. That's it, I'll just, next one, this, motion 1. Motion 2. Motion 3. It's just, it's technically, like a video, it's not an That's typically what we've seen before, quite a few in most of these.
I was gonna say, everything here we've approved previously, right, for other projects. I don't see anything controversial.
Right.
The first motion would be the runoff volume rate waiver. Applicants requesting to waive section 12.1. No decrease in runoff environment as the design successful reduces the total runoff rates and volumes in compliance with Mass DEP standards. That's correct. So motion to.
Sorry, can I just ask for a bit? Is there any discussion? Do we need to have any discussion? I don't, but I just wanted to bring it up before we.
You go for each one.
Any questions or?
Runoff design. Anyone in the audience?
Okay, thought I'd bring it up. You guys were both very succinct, so.
Alright, so for motion 1, move to grant a waiver from EHIR section 12.1 to allow a net decrease in stormwater runoff volume and rate off-site.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion one approved. Second motion. The detention pond slopes and bottom grade waiver. The subject of this is to request a waiver from the 4-to-1 side slope and the 2% bottom slope requirement for bioretention rain gardens. We have a discussion on,
I do have a question about the motion as written. Do we need to specify a 3-to-1? Because if we just say to waive, that could mean anything. I don't really think you guys would just do that, but
No, that's a good one.
You wouldn't put 2-to-1, right? I wouldn't do that at all. Yes, 3-to-1 is.
yeah, if we just make it 3.
any further discussions. Okay. So then. Okay. Motion to move to grant the waiver to allow a 3-to-1 side slope. From EAHIR section 12.4 regarding base slopes and bottom grades to accommodate engineering bioretention rain garden designs as presented. Get a second.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
All right, motion is carried. Okay, the third. Motion was the soil permeability testing waiver. Okay, so there's a request to waive the in situ borehole permeability testing based on test pits documented with hydraulic soil group A, sand and gravel with an acceptable infiltration rate of 2.41 inches per hour. Any discussion on soil permeability?
I was gonna ask John if you had a chance to look at that documentation or.
I really haven't, but I know they're just looking to get it tested by the lab. Instead of having people actually go out and do it, right?
So I think they want like in the test pit to do like a double ring infiltrometer test or.
I believe that's what the regulations. It says in situ permeability test, so it does need to be in situ means it does need to be in the ground. In the area of the basin, it's typically a double ring infiltrometer test is what it's called. It's like a 24-inch ring and a 12-inch ring, and you perform the test. It's like and it gives you the permeability and centimeters per minute. Whatever. It is on site in the specific area. So in order to perform it, you would have to go back out, excavate out, go down to the in situ bottom and then read. If it were a B soil or a C soil, I would be concerned about it, but A soils, it's just, they're being very conservative about their design. So I'm not concerned about it.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, so the next motion would be move to grant a waiver from EHIR section 12.5 requiring in situ borehole testing, accepting instead the applicant's proposed test pit documentation of class A soils.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I'll do the three motions that I had here for proposing.
I know you had the 5.
Yeah.
Listed.
I think
I was gonna say, you feel like you're.
Yes, that covers all of the,
Okay.
yeah.
Any question, the question about the flat, not 2% area? Do you worry about mosquitoes like in, stagnant water that forms in that because there's no 2% running it out, you know what I mean? What
Yeah,
happens
I
with
do what I
that?
mean, yeah, because, so it's in the bioretention basin, so you'll have the bioretention soil media, which that infiltrates down pretty fast, 4 inches per hour, that water will go through, and then again, below, we have sandy material below, so it will be free draining. We do the study to make sure it draws down in under 72 hours, and they all did pass.
Does that last a long time, years?
So
But
yeah, it does have to be maintained, good question, so there is an operation and maintenance plan provided in the stormwater report that basically tells them how to make sure it's maintained so that flowing can still happen.
We've addressed all your,
Yes.
we're happy.
Yes.
Okay. Very much.
Thank you.
No, they asked, Steve Lee, right?
Yes,
They, at some point in time, we have to get the EHIR final signed off by the board as before.
okay. Well, signed off by the planning board?
No, by us.
Okay. You need me,
So,
you need me to draft something?
yes,
Okay,
right, correct.
yep,
So with all the EHIL finals, the board has to look at and then sign off. What, it has to be put into the registry of deeds, but it's a town, it's difficult, it's not, the town is different than the regular.
Right. It should probably also include some of the things that were not in the most recent one because it was like this superseded the previous version. I think because like it referred to Board of Health 2, but it wasn't in here and it said it was in another one. So I think we'll need a complete finalized version.
okay. I mean, I have the one that you provided for the last one, so.
The last school.
I'll-
The last school.
Yes, the last school. So I will draft it and then I can issue it and or are there newer? Is there a newer, you're saying there's a newer,
Well, I don't know, but the one that you went over today, it had like Board of Health 1, then Board of Health 3, and then it said Board of Health 2 was referred somewhere else. So I think we just need something that has every single thing outlined, so it's clear.
okay. Sure, yep, I can do that.
No, what sign up next, right?
Next meeting, maybe. Something like that.
I can have it. Sure. Or before then, I'll issue it like long before then to review and everything and. Yep.
Need anything further from us to do that? Just put up update.
Yeah, I have the updated documents and everything. I don't think I should need anything.
You can let me know.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
You guys, appreciate your time. See you again.
So. 7:00. Next item on our agenda is a new carbonation license fee required for stormwater.
Yes, thanks.
So. Stormwater Fighter LLC has submitted an application for a carbonated beverage license for town of Millis. National Department of Public Health. Bureau of Climate and Environmental Health Division for Protection. Is in receipt of application for permit from in-state manufacturer of bottled water or carbonated non-alcoholic beverages to be sold and distributed in Massachusetts. December 17th, 2025, from Storm One Cider LLC. 725 Main Street, Mills, Mass. So we have an application. And I assume they received their permitting fee from the applicant. The application would be that the product to be issued would be bottled water manufactured or bottled in mills, for which the permit for the Mills Health Department is required to Master Law 94, Section 10A. And also MDPH regulation 105 CMR 500.000, good manufacturing practices for food. Applicable to persons who manufacture bottled and mass-produced carbonated non-alcoholic beverages or bottled waters, whether carbonated or non-carbonated for human consumption. From 105 CMR 500.002B, Section 8. MDPH will provide technical assistance to both health professionals permits and approve the application accordingly. So there's a list of brands with product labels that was submitted. And the application packet was found by the DFP to have been in compliance with water quality standards for bottled water in Massachusetts. Okay. Reviewed these thermal ones.
I was gonna say, I have a question, John. So I see one file that shows an in-state bottling license is active.
Mhm.
There's also an application that says not yet submitted.
Well, he did get the actual, we got him to give us that a week ago.
Okay,
actually-
so this thing that says is
That was
not
before.
submitted is
That was
old.
before.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I just wanted to be sure.
So he's got a license with the state. And they do most of the inspections, and it's really licensed with the state, but they said we have to get a license at the local level too. The carbonated beverage license. And if we were to charge incidental $33, because we're not doing inspections like the state is.
Right, I was gonna say, is this new? Have we done this before?
No, we haven't done it before because we've never seen this before.
Yeah.
This license for business. Maybe they had it when they had that old, what was it, when it was outside, you see one of the,
Yeah,
on
the big one, yeah.
yeah, maybe they had one back then, maybe.
I assumed that's so old you didn't have to have all this.
Right.
I don't know.
1930s, 20s, something like that, who knows?
So have they submitted this Millis license application as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see, I see, the carbonated beverage license, but I don't see that someone submitted a license.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did with the clerk.
Was there an email that went out today?
That's a good point.
Did Heather send out an email today? No.
I'm not sure.
But with Steve Lee, I went through up to number 11, but I didn't see a number 12. That's all.
Okay. But John, you're saying they submitted an application, and you got the handwritten application and like the check for the $33.
I'm pretty sure, or we're waiting till you guys approve it, then he'll come in with it. Maybe that's potentially it.
Okay. When you approve the application.
I was gonna say, I'm confused what we're approving.
Well, just the fact that we are stating a incidental fee for $33. That's what we're.
That's what we're.
Oh, that's what.
Yes, the incidental.
Not that he's filling out the form.
No, it's just that we have to be able to bill him somehow
Okay.
in which we're putting him in. And it's the lowest form of yearly because we're not doing anything with it.
Right, that.
Incidental.
All right. Okay, any other questions? Okay, all right, so. I move that the Board of Health approve the annual carbonated beverage license for Stormalong at a standard administrative fee of $33 contingent upon proof of active state licensure. I guess, second, okay, all in favor? Aye. Right. Motion carried. Well,
That
yeah,
would be more interesting. I wasn't sure. Let's say the interesting for was.
Oh, we're ahead of schedule. Okay. So it is 7:07 PM and next on agenda is the well update for 7.7. Let me get that open. Seven point seven. In our well regs, which we just were working on. The language is not currently encompassed a full level of detail. We intend for filings sent to the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds under section 7.7. To ensure full transparency for future property owners and adherence to our public health standards. We're proposing to update our requirement to be a little bit more comprehensive. There's no language. Specifically, the reporting to serve as a complete record of all the water quality at the section. Right now, we just have it so that certain chemicals would trigger reporting on the deed to include PFAS, radon, also compounds and pesticides. The suggested change.
I can't believe this is not working.
It's not me.
Running out of batteries in this thing. It's running out of batteries, this thing. I found out this afternoon and I didn't quite do. I think I should have done.
See your buddy Glenn who's joined us. Is it for
Yeah.
this or is it for the next part?
The septic.
Okay, so
Which one are we on now?
we're on well regulated.
Okay.
We're
Still there.
discussing the reporting 7.7.
So if I'm looking at it right, what we had in there says the concentration of any volatile organics. Dot.
Yeah,
I
that-
think what this is suggesting
is-
is it needs to be more extensive.
yes, it's very good what we have here. Before it was, this tells exactly what we want for quality and how to get the registry of deeds involved.
Okay, so let me just read that. We want to change 7.7 to be reporting of water quality results for all new well construction and upon property sale or transfer. Restricted covenant of water quality shall be recorded in the Norfolk County Register of Deeds. That's what we say what to do. This document shall include a copy of the certificate of compliance and the full laboratory analysis results for all parameters required under section 7.2 through 7.6, including not limited to PFAS, bacteria, coliform, and E. coli, radon, volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and pesticides, and any concentration for any contaminant exceeds the federal or state maximum contaminant levels or the recommended limits specified in these regulations. The recorded document must also identify the specific treatment system installed to remediate the water quality. And that's also a change, is to add the remediation system.
So I'm a little confused because the previous version, what triggered going to the registry of deeds was exceeding a maximum contaminant level.
I think we want everything going into the registry of deeds.
So we want everything
Yes,
going,
everything.
and that's not too restrictive.
No,
So is the idea that even if everything is good, we want to make sure it's very clear to whoever's
And, yeah.
purchasing.
And it reminds the next person, who could be 30 years later, what they got and what this is looking for.
Okay.
So it gives the length of what it could,
Is this pretty standard?
yes, I think this is. We have the test now and it's only 5 pages, 6 pages, so it's not it's not like we got hundreds of pages going into this, it's like 5 or 6 pages that, the actual, quality pages, quality, water quality pages, the testing's done of that, PFAS, DOC, bacterial, the whole
Yeah.
pesticide sections, about 6 pages. So
And
why not put that in there?
if I'm reading the last sentence correctly, and you had just mentioned this, the recorded document must also identify the treatment system installed. So that suggests that everything must be remediated before the sale can be final.
Yes, they have to ideally put like some type of filtration unit or some other ion, something else that will get it back into this.
Okay. And is that consistent with what we ask for now? Like you can't transfer a property without it being corrected?
Or they could,
I think so too. I just wanted to be sure.
yeah, they would have to have it fixed somehow.
Yeah.
Or they could have to make some agreement, legal agreement, really, between both and the Board of Health saying, within 6 months, the new owner's gonna have to do this type of thing.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't being too restrictive. Especially because it's called a restrictive covenant of water quality.
Well, if someone has PFAS in their well water, I guess it's another way to treat it. I mean, like we have a PFAS
think it-
plan for municipal water.
If they get over 20, that's when you're worried.
Okay.
We've had a couple that are like at the lower end and it's showing up, but it's not anywhere near the 20, so it's fine. So far, we've had like 4 places and all of them good so far, different sections of town. So it's pretty good.
Okay, I think you put in a reverse osmosis filter and get rid of the PFAS.
Yeah, I think that's what, we had someone come here and say that
Yeah.
before, and it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it did a pretty good job.
It must be expensive.
Well,
It's like $1,500 to test them, approximately. But if they have a problem, the filtration, all that, it could be 4,000 or 5,000 start, and maybe $500 a year or something like that for, who knows, to keep it. I'm just estimating that, I'm not saying that's what it is, but
Right. How many wells are there in the town? A lot.
like 300, I think, 300 actual drinking wells. Some plus and minus.
there's more.
I was gonna say, I think there's some undocumented ones that we heard about.
Yeah, that's true.
There are ones that aren't on there.
Built in the 1950s, 40s, whatever else. They had no testing and stuff like that, or even going to the town and saying, I'm doing this.
Well, current regs are they just say, if any concentration of volatile organics is detected, a document should be reported in the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, which identifies chemical or concentration of health facts. When it's just that when a component listed in section 7.2 or 7.3 detected outside established limits, an appropriate whole house treatment system shall be installed. So I think it's a little bit more comprehensive. That says.
Because it's one of those things, if it ends up being too restrictive, someone will come ask for a waiver, to discuss it.
But really, if you
It
got
feels reasonable, though, those are,
you season your,
I was gonna say, those are really no.
yeah, no carcinogens and like real health effects, like these are. You do not want to be drinking water if these are in water. Okay, so. Any further discussion on the well reg?
Yeah.
This should be the last,
Yes.
the
this is
last one, but
one.
maybe a couple, 10 years, something like, who knows, but I think this is the end of it. Cross my fingers,
Yeah, it's only been a year.
That's right. I think the same thing with Title V will come up too. We'll have it totally done and then a year later we go, oh, let's try this, let's do this.
Always learning,
Yes.
Proven.
Yeah,
How much how many septic systems, like 25% of the town?
50%. 50,
Is it really?
maybe nothing, maybe 40%.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Was it Sherburne all subject?
yeah,
House and I think.
all septic, yeah.
Sudbury, I think is.
Yeah.
Also.
So call for a motion to approve the changes to the developments. Okay, I move to amend the Millis Board of Health well regulations. By adding the change section 7.7, recordings of water quality results as read previously. And the registration of deeds as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion moved. And let's see.
Learning a lot about the board out. I didn't know we did all this.
This is only some of it.
That was spectacular. We have one beavers next.
I tell you,
I watched that meeting on Beavers, yes.
Venus, I tell you, the worst, not the worst, but the most interesting areas with COVID-19 hit this area. It was like
I wouldn't have wanted to have been on the board.
unbelievable. Yeah,
I'm glad I had retired by the time.
Right.
Right. Moving right along.
yeah. This thing is,
I was gonna say, what's different now with the septic?
Oh. Everything.
Oh, even more, okay.
I thought you already did septic on one of your meetings.
No, we've been working on it.
Okay.
See, we
What was that?
finalized the well break, so we kind of like amend and fix as we see like problems as this is out in the wild. But we're still working on the septic regulations. So we actually have Glenn Ayers, who is an expert who's been helping us, who's on the Zoom.
Good evening.
Good evening.
we've been glad.
So our septic regulations have pretty much been well, updated for the first time in, I don't know, 20 years or something. So we
More
got
than that, 1991.
1991.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
they were due. 1991, wow. So, we had a team, John and Glenn spearheaded it. And then we had Dan American, who's an engineer who works in the town helping out.
Yeah, I've seen him at meetings
Yeah,
on,
right. Yeah, he's
Mills Community Media.
So they went through and they pulled out all the. There's Title V, which is the state regs. They pulled out everything that's already said in Title V, so we're not repeating ourselves 50 million times. Then we kind of updated. Cause, you know, science changes and learning and.
Oh, yes.
So it reflects actual science and modern techniques of the engineering fields. For something, so it's very exciting.
Which file are you opening up?
I was gonna say, I want to make sure I'm the right one too. Copy of
Yeah.
Millis Regulation 6.5.
6.5 clean. After that, 6.5 to 2016 clean. I got to that. And,
I have to read the whole thing.
yeah.
Do you want to repeat it?
And everything else is pretty much already
Yeah.
approved, except for the one on page 8E. I think there's another.
I was gonna say, is it the stuff that's in green then?
Green, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for Richard, the last meeting, we kind of went over some of the, I guess. The changes that we were kind of need to be updated from many years ago. We kind of proved it. Obviously we weren't here. But like say we had the perk rate
30 minutes.
of 30 minutes, which Title V says 60 minutes. So we updated to Title V because the 30 minutes really wasn't helping to protect the environment, wasn't helping protect health. It was just more for construction. So if you get a perk rate of 60, you gotta have a bigger, system
Bigger system. Well, plus
to compensate for the,
60 inches per minute.
yes. So that's one that changed to name, never changed the name. No cesspools.
Those sorts of rules, and then we got rid of the bedrooms, 10 bedrooms, wasn't that? Oh, we did. 10 bedroom thing. What did I say exactly?
All the 10 bedrooms.
No, something to do with 10
There's
bedrooms.
like the maximum system, so
Oh.
let's say it's like a condo, it's like whole units together.
So they could share the system.
Yeah, I think we had something that said there could only be one system for all the shared.
Right,
units.
instead of a larger system for all of them,
Yeah,
and
which,
we only had one in town that was granted years ago, like 15, 20 years ago. Forget the name of it, because,
Okay, so all total that had 10 bedrooms.
yeah, it has a lot of, like condo association, right? And they had some that was together and stuff like that, they made one large one, which they basically, at that point, down 10 years ago, they went over, they waived it. On the board at that time, so why not just get rid of it altogether?
Yeah, it was like not controversial at all, if I remember right from.
I don't think anyone
I think it was the third one too, I think it was the third one.
the testing, like we would have accept lab tests instead of making boreholes or something.
What was that?
Soil testing.
So it's interesting. I think there were 3, but I can't believe, I can't even keep that one.
Since
Boreholes, right?
we would be eventually asking them to vote on it, should we go through the whole thing? I'm not saying we need to, I'm just asking the question. Or would Glenn be here? Is there another meeting, right? It looks like we have to have like a public hearing and stuff.
Yes, this is what we're discussing.
Yeah, yep. So because this is related to on-site wastewater treatment systems or septic systems, the law requires, Mass General Law requires that you actually publish a notice of a hearing 2 consecutive weeks, at least 7 days and at least 14 days before the public hearing. And then you hold a public hearing where you allow the public to make comments. And my suggestion is that you make these draft regulations available prior to that hearing and actually put a copy of them in the town hall or wherever the clerk is, and also put them on a Google Drive and give people the link right in the notice to the PDF that they can download, or in addition to putting an email address in the notice, the public notice, and ask people to, if they want a copy, to send an email to the Board of Health address with a subject line saying draft regulations. And then you can email them out to people that request them, just to make it very clear that the public had ample opportunity, many ways to interact with the Board of Health. So there's no question about the board trying to sneak this through, at a night meeting when nobody was paying attention. That's my suggestion. That's the way I always did it. I just wanted to make sure that no one could come back and say, oh, you did this without anybody knowing about it. I did everything I could. As a judge would say, I bent over backwards to make sure that the public had opportunity. So that's just my suggestion, but I can work with John to follow that process if that's what you all decide.
That sounds
Sounds reasonable.
good.
I'd rather do that than the opposite.
We also put the draft on our webpage, or is that difficult to do? So some of
Oh,
those,
yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, putting it on a website also would be great. Again, everything that you can do within reason that makes it very clear that you are not trying to, rush this through, or you haven't been, because we've been working on it for months. But, just so that the public has the opportunity and no one can claim that you did something behind their back.
For instance, let me just say that when if we pass this part with the groundwater evaluation pre-1995 systems, we may have a lot of what is it? Hold on. The Title V inspectors come to this last hearing and say, why is this? Because they may say, I don't want to have to do this, hire a soil evaluator, but this is a good idea. Right, Glenn?
I think that's an excellent idea because the Title V inspection process has a weakness in it, and that is that the Title V inspectors are not required to be soil evaluators. But remember, the soil evaluation, and especially the determination of the estimated seasonal high water table, is a critical part of the design and functioning of a system. And so there is just a disconnect there between what the inspectors need to do, and especially like you pointed out, for these pre-95 systems, how do they determine that that system is functioning and not in the water table? And you can't do that without determining where the water table is. That's the catch. So I agree with this. It does protect the environment because you don't want systems that are operating, the leach field is in the water table, but you don't also, it's a consumer protection law in that these older systems require an additional effort to make sure that they're going to continue to function for the new owner. And that's really the consumer protection part of it, so that the person buying this property is not buying a lemon or is going to be suddenly facing a $50,000 repair job that they, unexpected. And, that can be pretty significant when that happens. So we're trying to do whatever we can to avoid that. And overall, I'd want to say that these regulations, these local septic regulations are really to help John or your health agent, your health director, do a better job to protect public health and also the people in town. It's really the regulations help him do his job, help him do a better job, or provide a better direction to the people that he has to review the work that they're doing, like the inspectors. So it is really that level of increased ability to do a very difficult job. Like I know from experience, John has a very hard job to do, and the better to do it with clear directions and reasonable regulations as compared to trying to uphold your old regulations, which had things in there that would be hard to defend at this point. So that's kind of the basis for all of this, is that it's really helping you do and John do a better job, more consistent, and make it clear to everyone what their responsibilities are.
If I may say something on this. It's just, so this subsurface sewage disposal system in the zone 2 and private drinking well is what I think is what we asked them to test these, as opposed to everything that's pre-1995 systems, SE needed, soil evaluate needed. But you could put in here only the ones that are in zone 2 and have drinking wells, because that's the most they're gonna be affected by it. So we could say, we're only saying that zone 2 properties, or you could say every property after 1995 as well. So that's why I put this in red. If you want to do it this way, or Glenn said you probably want the whole thing out there, or zone 2's is zone 2 properties and a private drinking well, having that be the focus on it, not every place that's south of 1995 not needing the SE. Because after 1995, they did model testing, and they could do model testing and really learn where the high groundwater is. As before that, it was like, we see it, if you don't see it, then we don't have it. And a lot of these things were done in September and August. So they didn't see anything. They saw like something that's 4 foot below its regular thing, and in March it's gonna be over it, whatever. So, this one specifically says it is in a zone 2 property or has a private drinking well. This is what it focuses on, as opposed to everything south of 1995.
So just to be.
Yeah, if I could make one little suggestion, and that is to put before zone 2, just put in PWS, public water supply, PWS zone 2, just to make it clear what the zone 2 refers to.
It's good.
I get PWS.
Yeah, just PWS, that everyone should understand. That means
What's
public water
McDonald's?
supply.
Okay.
Right before zone 2 in that sentence. Just for clarity.
I don't understand that though. Isn't a PWS zone 2?
Public water supply zone 2, isn't there a
Yeah.
zone 3? So you can stay aware.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, right, okay. This doesn't mean they uptown. They don't mean uptown.
Right, I think what he was saying though is zone 2 property could mean a lot of things. This makes it very clear. It's PWS.
It's
zone
near
2.
Yeah, okay. But you don't put zone-
Exactly. It's clear that it's a zone 2 related to the public water supply.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And you wouldn't put zones on zone 1 there because you shouldn't see them in zone 1 at all.
We shouldn't
No.
have.
That shouldn't happen.
No, but
Yeah.
in a zone 2, you might need to do nitrogen reduction, depending upon how many acres the property is. So I think that's a good, this is a compromise of requiring all of them. If you condition it for zone 2s, or if it is on a private well, of course, you're very interested to find out if that leach field is in the water table, then there's no treatment occurring and it's
So-
going directly recharging the
So-
groundwater.
Are we having everything that's under 1995 being tested, everyone being tested under 1995, or just the zone 2s and private drinking wells ones?
Yeah, what do you recommend?
What's going on here? Is that PWS saying everything below 1995, everything has to be tested by a SE, soil evaluator, along with the Title V, the best inspector?
Yeah, so what you're saying now here is that if it is in a zone 2 or if it has a private well and it was installed prior to 95, then they do have to do a better job of establishing the water table conditions.
So someone that is in a zone 2 when they have, public water, they don't have to get the SC.
Then they would not have to. That's the way
Okay.
it's written now. Yep.
Right.
If we leave the
Yep.
red right,
What's that?
if we leave the section in red in,
Yes. that's what I
Yes.
think.
do you recommend just having it as the zone 2 and the private drinking wells? Or would you have it be more restrictive? Like what would be better for public health? Or more protective?
Well, you have to be able to make the argument that what you're requiring has a reasonable relationship to protecting public health.
Okay.
And I think the way it's written here with the red, you can argue that is a direct connection. If the system is in the water table, it's a direct connection. There is no treatment in the saturated zone. And so that is very reasonable. If you were to expand it and take out the red, part, then it would be every system, and you would have a hard argument making, for systems that are on a public water supply, you're not necessarily protecting that groundwater that is, being used right there. So I think that you make it's more defensible, in my opinion, with the red. It is an additional requirement, but it's reasonable, and we are trying very hard to have reasonable regulations that are defendable in court, and this would be.
Yeah, most of these testing would be for 30-year-olds, 25, 30-year-old systems on it for the most time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not like they were making them test this 5 months ago, 5 years ago. This is quite 1995 and 2026.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
But why March 31st? Why not January 1st?
Oh, that's when the Title V regulations went into effect. The
okay.
big revision to Title V occurred then,
So these are all those systems prior to Title V.
prior to that. And there were a lot of people trying to get their systems approved before that deadline went in, because you know, that was, they knew they had a heads up. So it was very busy back then.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. So while we're looking at that same section, just below it, the paragraph below that, there is in the second sentence below that,
Talking about
under the
nitrogen.
establishment of a maximum high water table, it says the board may mandate a deep observation hole test within the estimated disposal area. And I was not, that wasn't really clear to me what that meant. The next paragraph below.
Yeah, I know what you're saying on that one.
Yeah. It's that part, a deep observation hole test within the estimated disposal area.
Yeah, I think that doesn't belong there, to be honest with you.
Okay, I didn't think it did either.
Yeah,
So are you suggesting we strike that whole paragraph?
Take that whole thing out. The two, establish a definite maximum high groundwater.
Just that first sentence.
Okay, so just leave that all such testing should be witnessed by a soil evaluator.
so do I just erase this or what?
Yeah, just erase
Or you
that,
can strike
that entire
through.
sentence there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sentence to establish. Yeah, I don't like those kind of things that say the board may do this or may mandate. To me, you either do something or you don't. I mean, there is
Right.
time for discretion, but this one, you know, if you may mandate it, then you have to know what it means. And I
Yeah, you're-
just don't know what that means. So that sentence, if you don't know what it means, I would say get rid of it.
I
And
think this, that sentence allowed that if it was not in the zone 2 or something like that, maybe they would, I don't know if that was part of it.
yeah,
know.
well, the part about digging a deep hole in the, yeah, I just didn't know in the estimated disposal area, I would not dig deep holes in the leach field. That would be that, you know, because that could be a problem. I mean, you could hit the pipes, you know, especially if it's an old system, you don't know where it is. So you go dig around with the backhoe. That to me kind of is a recipe for potential disaster. So I wouldn't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable saying somebody should do that because, you know, again, that would be the Board of Health, because you would mandate it. The Board of Health could be legally or liable for damage done because it was a mandate. So I'd get rid of that sentence. That's my suggestion.
I get rid of it.
Okay. All right. And if you wouldn't mind going back up to number 8. And so this is at the time of the inspection. If the D-box is out of level, then you have to take immediate, the part A of number 8, just right above that.
What's the title of it?
Title V inspection, additional requirements.
Yeah, that's right. Let me see.
So
My
A,
batteries run out of this thing, so I'm having trouble.
it's just right above where we just were, 8. Yeah.
Exact night you need it.
That's how that goes.
Yeah. Right here? Which one do you want?
Yeah. 8A, So this is if during the Title V inspection, if the D box is out of level, then the inspector needs to take corrective action pretty much right then to fix that. And those are speed levelers. But at the very end of the sentence, it says, or other corrective measures approved by the board witness. But
Oh, yeah.
you don't have a
yeah.
witness.
Yes, good point.
Yeah. So I would get rid of that phrase just right at the installation of speed levelers, period, and then get rid of the or other corrective measures approved by the board witness. I think that was left over from a previous.
That was yours. That was yours from the Franklin one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was one, when there was someone witnessing the inspections, but you're not going to do that for now.
No.
So
Yeah, wait
I
for
would
that.
not have that. I wouldn't have that last part of the sentence. Just right from or, starting with or, just get rid of that phrase.
Well, oh, yeah. Right.
And, essentially they're just going to put in speed levelers, period. That's it. And then if you wouldn't mind going up again to, I'm looking at page 6 and it's number 8 in parentheses on page 6 there. Notwithstanding the Title V minimum setbacks, this is where you're increasing setbacks. But under, are you with me? Yeah, and it's in green. Yep, it's in green. It's 8. And then there's A, B, and C in there.
There, that.
Yep. And so under B, it's the leaching facility, the SAS. It's a 20-foot minimum setback from the property lines. And then in parentheses, it says, as shown in the minimum horizontal setback distances table above, but there is no table above.
Right, good point.
So I would get rid of that parentheses part. Again, it's property line, period. Now, there may be situations where they need to, be closer than 20 feet, but that's a variance, right? Yeah. So these, you're setting standards. It doesn't mean that they can't ever do that, but they would have to go through a process to assure you that it has an equivalent level of environmental protection. The abutter would probably have a say in that as well. So, it's fine if you just put the period right there at the property line and leave it at that. And then if you wouldn't mind going further up on page 5. And I don't know if you wanted to start, but right there, just go down to
Buoyancy.
Under section B, and then parentheses B, if the bottom of the tank, it's under the buoyancy.
It's right here,
Sorry,
right?
it's under disposal construction permit.
Yeah. E1B.
Under design construction standards, that's B, and then sub paragraph section B, if the bottom of the tank is located within the estimated seasonal high water table. Just at the end of that sentence, at the end of that section, it just says the word wait.
Are we on 7?
Yeah, go down just a tiny bit more.
I can't really do with this
This is the bottom.
because I don't have this thing.
You wanna use my mouse?
Can I use your mouse? Because this thing is. Like, the batteries are gone. Which one's your mouse? Fix anything, right? I'm not, so. Yeah, right, John. Yeah, that's your mouse. Yeah.
So right there,
Yeah.
you see where it says the estimated seasonal high water table. That paragraph, it's B. Yep, right there. You're going past it. Yep, that's good. It's right in the middle. So it's B in parentheses and then subsection B, if the bottom of the tank is located within the estimated seasonal high water table.
Yeah,
You have to submit but then right at the end of that sentence, it says wait. I don't know why. Just get rid of that. It's just an artifact from
Yeah,
some other editing thing. Okay.
HWC, estimated season high water table.
It's a good point.
Clear definitions.
It is, that's
it's in the definitions, I think.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. All right. And then I know we're going backwards, but we'll continue. And number 6 above. So that's under the disposal system installer's permit. There's something at the very end that says with proof of W-2, 1,000 hours per year and an exam. I'm not really sure what that, we never discussed that previously. I'm not sure what that means. I don't think anyone else will know what it means. And
well,
if you used to give exams, that might be something, but that was one thing that I got rid of in the towns that I worked for because nobody wanted to take them and I didn't want to give them. And they weren't really, unless you have some kind of standardized exam and training process, which they do out in Berkshire County. But we never did that. And I don't know that you want to do it either.
I think 1,000 hours was part-time. So you have people who are claiming they're installers, but they may be only people who work for the main person. And because now people say, well, give us 3 different towns. And if they don't have that, they never get jobs. So you got to be able to do something for people who are assistants and want to start at different towns. And they don't have 3 towns licenses. I can't remember how this even started back in the early 90s, because how you get people that would have this type of experience. So this
Yes.
tells people if you have a W-2 and you've got 20 hours a week with a regular installer, to give us that, and then give us an exam and you could start, and you wouldn't have to tell you where's your three license from other towns. I don't have it. I'm working with someone. Well, you can't do it. Sorry, bye.
Where does the exam come from?
I make it up. I do it and I say here's 20, and give it to them. We did one already. And I
Okay,
said,
if you have that exam and everything, then
Yeah.
you might want to say an exam approved by the Board of Health or something like that. Or a standardized exam approved by the Board of Health. But I just didn't understand what that kind of last sentence meant.
Like with
So-
proof. They like,
where's that?
Proof of previous employment via, a W-2 or some other form, pay stubs, indicating 1,000 years, 1,000 hours
per year,
per year. Yep.
what proof of experience? In the
Proof of experience. Yeah. Proof of work
Oh.
experience or previous experience. Sometimes people they do it as an apprentice, and you might know the person for several years before they go out and start their own business or something. So, but anyway, that sentence just was not clear. You can work on it and make it say what you intend it to say.
I have an exam written in this. Do you have an exam written in this? Oh,
Yeah,
exam.
exams at the end.
So what do I say? Well, someone said something.
An
about
exam approved by the Board of Health.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it should be something that the board should kind of wave their, magic wand over.
Exam approved by.
Yeah, standardized exam approved by the Board of Health. So, yeah, I didn't know if you currently did that. Again, like I said, I kind of got rid of that because it was just a pain.
But I think
To
that
do.
before we actually told people they couldn't do anything because they didn't have the experience. So it's like, we knew they were working for people and they probably had that skill because they didn't have 3 records or 3 licenses for the towns. It's like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I have come across installers that have been installing systems their entire life, and they wouldn't pass an exam and they probably shouldn't be installing systems, but that's different. But yeah, I mean, you know what you mean here. You just need to make it so that someone else reading it would know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all.
it is 1,000 hours per year, or just 1,000 hours.
I think it was because it was part-time, 30,000 hours part, what is that, what is that? So 352 weeks a year, right? What is it, hours?
At least 20 hours a week,
20 hours a week times 52, times 52,
1,000, yeah.
So
1,000,
they'd have to work part.
I'm
round
gonna
up.
say, so they have to be working 6 months a year on this.
Well, so whatever, 1,000 hours, gets you 1,000 hours. So you could have 52 weeks a year and 20 hours a week, or you could have like 40 hours a week for 6 months, whatever, but you know, something.
I just wondering.
This is part-time, you know, they could be,
Yeah,
you can say, well, you have to be full-time too. It's like,
you don't
some
have to be
people, you know,
full-time.
I mean, if they have 1 year, 20 hours a week working for an installer, they should be okay if they pass the exam, they should be knowledgeable.
That's not how that reads though.
Yeah, it
That
makes it sound
reads
like
as
you
if
gotta
you
work
have
stuff,
to do
yeah.
that every single year.
Yeah,
Really? Listen,
I'd say at least 1,000 hours of experience, on the job experience or something.
On the
okay.
job experience would be a good way to say that.
So how do you want this written exactly? 1,000 hours, what?
On the job experience.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, I mean, I was out in the Wild West. So anytime you get past the Connecticut River Valley, the further you get from Boston, the worse it gets. So, I had some installers who they never installed the system, or at least they never installed one right. And they were really a pain in the ass to work with and to get them to the point where that system actually followed the plan. Very difficult. So I'm not a big fan of unexperienced people trying to put in septic systems. I've had a few homeowners want to put them in, and I said no. There's some engineering involved here, or at least somebody who knows what they're doing. You just can't. These plans are engineered for a reason. That's they have to be followed. So I agree that you should have standards. That's what I'm saying. And it really is, it can be a nightmare to have somebody installing a system who they just don't know what they're doing. And you'll see that occasionally, like I witnessed a lot of Title V inspections, and you see the septic tanks put in backwards. They come in one end and go out at a lower elevation at the other end. The pipes come in at two different levels. They put them in backwards so that the water, the water is up above the pipe coming in from the house. Well, that's a recipe for clogging. And same thing with D-box. I've seen many D-boxes put in where the pipe coming in is lower than the pipe going out. That's because the people doing it didn't know what they were doing. I mean, those are very simple things to know what you're doing, and lots of other examples.
You don't know how to
should not
serve
have
it.
people doing that stuff
survey.
when they just don't have the experience.
Makes sense.
Because that's putting in a new tank. That's a expensive project. You can't just pick that tank up and flip it around. Once a tank is in the ground, there's really very little way to take it out and put it back in. You have to basically crush that, pump it, crush it, remove it, prepare a new hole, and put a new tank in. And that's going to be several $1,000s just to do that. So you just don't want to get yourself into that situation, because you end up being the bad person, because you're inspecting it, and you want to make sure that the people doing the work to begin with know what they're doing. So those
I
are all
think
the things that I had before we started. And you know, these are mostly minor. They're not huge substantive things, but it is important to have, you know, easy to understand regulations so that people reading them, you know, don't misinterpret them or don't need to ask you about every sentence. What does this mean? So we can continue down past where we left off before if you want.
12, mandatory connection, municipal sewage connection, sewer connection and septic abandonment. This is what the
Okay.
one with the, we talked about this before and
We
you
did.
said
Yeah.
Title 5 already has it going, but you might as well leave this in here.
I think it is very good to have it in there, especially if this is a potential issue in your town. It is in some of the towns that I deal with that are mostly unsewered, but when there is a collection system available, it's really important to be able to say no. You need to connect to that because, you know, people will try to get out of it because they don't want to pay the sewer fees. And so they think that they'll be able to do something to save money somehow, or just if they're selling the property, you know, put it off on the next person. But I think you have this very clear here that if it fails, they connect. And there are some exceptions in Title V, and you have that section referenced. So I think that, you know, they can still make an argument or get a variance. That's always possible. But to have this in here makes it very clear. You don't have to go look up some obscure Mass General law that says you have to connect. You can just reference right there in Title V and in your regulations.
And I think that it also states that if there's a problem with the septic system, they don't have a Title V done, but they have a problem, the board can tell them they've got to hook the sewer right here.
Yeah.
That's good too.
Yep.
So is it clear for 12A what criteria we would use to determine if a connection is necessary or not?
The neighbors calling up the other neighbors saying, I can smell their backyard
Bubbling out.
bubbling out,
Oh.
something like that, who knows?
So it'll be clear when it's
I was gonna
necessary.
say, I mean, it seems like it would be, but I just wanted to make sure that if someone, that it couldn't be abused on, you know.
Yeah, in the future.
Mhm.
Yeah, in that kind of situation, the board would essentially hold a hearing, and you would come up with findings, and that, you know, that would be in writing, and basically that would either be, you know, that this, like, the sewage is running down the driveway into the school bus stop for the kids.
Cool.
You know, that would be, I mean, I've had that situation. And, or, you know, it's some kind of a discharge into a wetland resource area, something where there's a clear interest in getting that abated, then the board can issue that kind of an order. And the requirement there would be that you connect to the sewer. You know,
As opposed to-
again, it would probably be a very old system, you know,
Okay.
probably installed way before the sewer line went in. And so, you know, eventually the plan is that you connect everyone to the sewer, assuming that you have the capacity in your system, you know, in your municipal system to do that, which most towns planned ahead for that kind of thing. They planned eventually all the houses where that line is running would eventually connect to that system, because Title V anticipates that the better option for wastewater treatment is centralized collection. So that's, you know, that's why they plan ahead for those kinds of things. At least they used to. Not so much nowadays, but because the funding, it used to be 75% federal funding for wastewater treatment infrastructure, but that went away actually with Ronald Reagan, and it just recently came back with the infrastructure bill under Biden. But for a long time, 40 years, there were loans and there were grant programs, but there was no 75%. And I worked on systems back in the 1980s that were 85% federally funded because they were innovative alternative treatment systems. But all of that went out after Reagan got in, to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse, which, we've heard that a lot recently. But that was environmental protection. That's where a lot of systems originally got built. So right above that section, I don't know if you're done talking about that, but
I just had a quick question about the septic abandonment. Our old regs had something where we wanted to get witnessed of a septic system was being abandoned. Is that part of Title V or did we take that out?
you usually actually issue a permit for that.
We have
Or-
one tomorrow. So I gotta go do
Or-
it tomorrow.
I thought our regs stated like you have to witness the abandonment of the septics.
I do. I will go tomorrow.
But it's not in
I was gonna
this.
say,
It's not in
it's in the
this.
title, but there's nothing
Yeah.
within that section that talks about
It
it.
talks about septic abandonment, but doesn't say that requirement anymore.
But I think Title V says it has to be, right?
I don't think it has witness.
It does. I think it says. Doesn't
I
it?
know it says it
Glenn?
has to be filled, but I don't think it has to be witnessed.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it doesn't.
Because certain towns, remember we had an incident where like the person was angry, we require it, did we witness?
Yes, we have an actual application for this,
Yes,
and it says witnessed by Board of Health on the
we need
application.
it in here.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, that's
Add that
true.
back.
it's in a
It's
form that doesn't
right.
mean much.
So where can we put that in?
Well, it'd be under that section, it'd be under section 12, but we should just put back our old,
Yeah, whatever that was.
our old regs, it actually had about witnessing. A Board of Health member witnessing the abandonment of a septic system.
Oh, it did in that, I can't.
It wasn't our old
The
one.
one that's kind of like this, it has this, may, and they used to have must, may, the select board had us change it 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And that was the same one that they kept talking about.
yeah, you could put in section C that says systems abandoned under this requirement shall be witnessed, or an application shall be submitted, or some language like that says that it shall be witnessed by Board of Health or their agent, and that would take care of it.
How about right there? Actually, put that in, but that's the one that was in the old. This is the new one I did, but this is the old one, and it takes the place of this. Either way, I could put it in there, it's still.
No, there was another section, it said about abandonment.
It's actually copy pasted.
Yeah,
You can just add another C.
Yeah, exactly. Subsection C, copy paste.
Say again?
that was protective. If it's not, it's properly, yeah, future danger.
Yeah, so the key thing about abandoning a system is that the components need to be dealt with. Usually that refers to the tank itself,
Yeah,
the septic tank. It gets pumped and then crushed or filled with,
Yeah, that's what we do.
yeah,
filled with
so-
sand. They usually
with-
breach one side so that any, infiltration, rainwater will drain out. And then it gets filled with sand, crushed stone or sand. And that's so that it doesn't collapse. Because it could fill with groundwater and collapse and someone could drown in it. I mean, those things have happened.
Yeah, and they make sure that the stuff they put in there is like less than 3 inches or something like that, like a gravel and something like big boulders and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
That can-
Yep. So that's the abandonment part of it, just to make sure that it's not, doesn't become a nuisance or a hazard.
I'm just gonna put this here in red so I understand that this needs to be changed to not something.
Yeah. Yeah, I can work with you on changing that language. But if you'll go, if you'll go just to,
This,
So I'm looking at the regs and under L, it has abandonment of existing septic systems. It does not specify or witness at least.
Yeah,
that
I
part.
don't remember that at all.
So we should probably look at, either have Glenn help write something new, or we should go back to the old ones. To at least start. Well, said it was L, it's 2L. General regulations, subsection L, abandonment of existing septic systems.
because it is our practice that someone goes out and witnesses
Oh, yeah.
abandonment, so. we can say
The
that.
application, it says it on it,
I was gonna
it's
say-
by the Board of Health and it's signed off by me.
Yeah.
So I have to go out every time.
So I guess
And
that,
We should probably cite
I was
that.
gonna say, I guess the question
Like-
is, Glenn, is that sufficient as it's been sufficient now, or should we write it in there in writing into the regs? I would say yes.
I think the regs are probably the
yeah,
challenge as the person doing it. I don't know.
you could do it, you can do it either way. You know, you can have your customary practice be that you issue them an abandonment permit, and that requires a final inspection in order to get essentially your certificate of compliance for the abandonment that says it was done properly. So that's, you know, if that's your normal practice to do that final inspection, then I would say either have it in your regulation or not, but as long as you're following that practice.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
And all the people who do it around this area knows it, because even before I got here, they had to do it directed, probably for 30 years.
Yeah, and there is a reason for following through on that and making sure that it is not left as a hazard.
Yes.
But right above that, under the accessory dwelling, you have it right there. There's you see where it says right above number 1, it says subsequently dated, updated. And I think there's just a typo there.
What's that?
It should probably just say updated.
Yeah, take the data out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. And then the ADU project evaluation form, is that something you already have?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that's good. I wasn't aware of that form, if it was some kind of, because I don't know that there was one issued with the guidance. But if you have your own,
Yeah.
And we
Good.
faxed the guidance from DEP to those people at the same time.
okay,
So they,
great. Well, that's it. That was, I think that was the last comment. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Under fees,
Oh,
fees. Hold on.
under 13 fees. Yep.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
13, section C, parentheses C.
Hold on.
You're-
let me back up.
This is, you probably don't need to put it up. I think it's probably just simple. You shall collect all inspection witnessing fees.
Okay, where's it again?
See,
It's under fees C. The board shall collect all inspection witnessing fees.
Fair witnessing.
Board
And so
shall-
that could be soil, that could be for soil evaluations, correct?
The board shall collect all inspections, witnessing fees. This is prior to scheduling and then.
So I just
Listen.
wanted to make sure I understood what the inspection witnessing fees were and
No, I think
to,
that was part of the exact, this is part of your.
okay,
one.
so that, so,
That's only the one you had in, Franklin, and that we
Yep.
need to figure
Okay.
rid of it.
so we forgot to take this out. And so I would take that all
See,
inspection witnessing, I would take those 2 words out and just leave that you'll collect all fees.
Wait a minute,
Inspection fees.
so what do I get rid of in C?
Board shall collect
Inspection
all,
witnessing,
and then remove inspection witnessing.
So we'll make.
because we're not witnessing inspections.
Board shall collect all,
Okay, take out inspection, take out witnessing.
okay,
Like all fees.
And
That's all, yeah.
yep. And then my next question is, do you have a special account?
let's see, let me see.
Because some towns do have revolving revolving accounts.
We don't have it for septic systems.
Okay, all right. So then that's a
We
question
never
I
know,
have
we might
about.
get it. We might get it one day, so why not put it in there?
This means we have to.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can't, yeah, it says shall. So that's the thing about
Yeah,
shall and may.
Maybe, put down maybe.
Yeah, the shall is that you shall collect them and put them into the special
May
account.
May collect,
All fees to a.
may
prior
collect,
to Take out special
Um,
account.
may collect
Yeah.
all fees from a
You,
special. To a special, yes, that may is something.
you just may want to say that you're going to collect all fees
Oh, yeah,
in
I don't
accordance
mind.
with your most recently adopted fee schedule.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That says may, so now we're not gonna collect all of those.
Oh, no,
Right,
I would
right.
say you shall collect them all in accordance with your most recently
Take out the
adopted
special-
fee schedule.
So collect
But take
all
out the middle
fees.
part there.
No
Right.
special accounts.
So take out 2
Yeah, yep.
prior to
Take
scheduling.
that out. So we'll collect all fees prior to scheduling any inspection. That sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah.
In accordance, yes.
Prior to scheduling and inspection, yeah, that looks much better.
Yep. So,
John's got a special account that does know about.
yeah, those fees are all done prior to you scheduling anything.
Yeah, we want.
Because once you do it, you're not going to get paid. I can tell you, once you issue that certificate of compliance, you're never going to get any money from those people. I can tell you from experience. Once they get the paperwork, it's over. Because you have nothing to hold over their head.
I'm sure it's the subject.
Okay, so,
Okay.
So that's just clearer that way. I didn't know if you had a special account or not.
No, we're not.
We did.
Maybe someday.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That was my last little thing.
thank you, Glenn, you're very, very good at this, very good, I must say.
Well, I went over them with the old fine tooth comb, so.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
But I'm happy to work with you, John, on putting together the public notice. If you need some help with that, I'll offer whatever you
Yeah.
need.
Very nice, yeah, excellent, absolutely, it's
Sounds great.
great.
All right. And I allocated several hours because they asked me for an estimate of how much time I was going to spend with you before the end of, right, because we're coming up to June 30th. And so I put in, I think 5 or 6 hours, something like that, or maybe 10. I'm just saying there is no worry about if John needs my help, he has access to me.
Through Metro West, right, Metro West in the PPH grant, something like that.
Right, because I'm being paid out of that grant, and so we'll see. We'll reevaluate in July, but I'm assuming that they'll continue to provide some additional support for you.
Excellent, nice.
Like, I would like to come to the hearing, you know, the public hearing, in case there are any questions or anything. I think that would be helpful, but you're in pretty good shape. So,
Yeah, thank you, thank
Thank
you
you very much.
for your hard work.
What's his name?
But that's one years. He's,
AY.
yeah, he works for the Metro West, shared services for Botox. Which is a group of towns together, we have like federation and.
A lot of knowledge.
all right. Do you need me for anything else?
Think,
No,
Thank you.
Okay.
good, thank
And
you very much.
John, let me know if you need anything.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Glenn.
Okay. Yep. Good night.
Good night.
So I guess our homework is gonna be. Read the old regs, read the new proposed ones, make sure you're comfortable with them, yeah. If you have any questions, jot them down, I send them over to John and you can send them to Glenn and. Maybe he can answer them. Because if we publish, 2 weeks before the
I was gonna
next.
say we're stuck with that, right? Whatever's published.
Yeah. I think we make like minor changes, but like that's, there you go. I think we're pretty good, but yeah, maybe in the next 2 weeks. Take a look at the proposed new regs and, take a look at Title V, this is great stuff.
Well, I never had one.
Right. That's what I've taken away from this.
It's a lot shorter, like. I think it's a lot cleaner, a lot neater, like it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
The new regs, they make a lot
Oh,
of sense.
1991, oh my.
The old ones, you'd be like, what is that? Why is this?
I mean, there's probably septic systems that have been out there 40 years that are still
yeah.
going, yeah.
And they're still fine, yeah, they're still functioning, as long as the past Title V, they're good.
Well, they were put in right.
And they won't bring backwards.
No.
Okay. We're close.
Mm-hmm.
So, ready for the next agenda item? Yeah. Okay, it is 8:19 PM. Up next is to approve the contract for the food inspectional services.
Listen,
So the food inspector was.
I guess he's getting 60 an hour.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Previously got $60 now.
And 175,100.
That's what he's asking for,
So
which is very
reasonable.
reasonable, definitely very reasonable.
Worked for 10 years and.
Yeah, as I said before, I think 80, 85 is probably what we should be looking at right now,
Okay.
because. It's showing that it's now becoming a very, for most food inspectors, they are getting anywhere from sometimes even $90 to $100. And I've got proof from this on the sheet I gave you. And. He's very good at what he does, very good at what he does.
Then we should keep him.
Oh, yeah, I'm hoping to keep him, yeah. Town administrator. Discussed the fact that he probably needs a contract, which is,
How's it done now?
yeah. I have it in there, the draft I have it there, but it's insurance. And so he's gotta get insurance. Okay. And. That may still be an issue with him, but we'll see. We have to have a contract with him now, this day. He's been here 15 years. He's under $10,000 a year generally. $7,000, $8,000.
I was gonna say, so if you take his normal rate and change it to 85.
It's still around 9,000 because he's right now. Probably like 6,000 to 7,000 a year, something like that. So I did the calculation that I think 80, 85 is gonna be like 9,000, something like $8,000 to $9,000 a year, depending on he said he does about 30, um. Restaurants in town,
Did he do the supermarkets too?
yes. So that takes more hours, 2 hours, this is 1 hour, stuff like that, but he does such a good job at it, so I think it's.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He tells people what they need to do and he doesn't have to come back because people have already done what he told them to do.
Which probably saves us money,
Yes,
because he could come back and forth and back and forth.
yes.
So I'm supportive personally of the 85 to 90.
Says, outlining request letter, salary request letter 2026. Angela served in town knows over 10 years without a rate adjustment for the last 5. Since his last review, he's earned a graduate degree in public administration, maintained his Massachusetts registered sanitarian license. Faced rising travel and vehicle expenses as well as contract with insurance. So he needs a contract with insurance or. He's requesting adjustment to range of $75 to $85 or $100. Okay, so for discussion,
So dumb question, why do we have to vote on this? Is this not something that like you and the town administrator do?
This is what we did in the past. 5
Okay.
years ago, we did the same thing. We got up to 60 from 50 or something like that. Probably the second year I was on the job here. So
Okay.
it was the board that did that, so.
So then if you have to have a contract. That is fine to go like through new town council and town administrator. But we're sort of signing off on the concept.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And we vote on it. It has the contract being part of the raise. I've already shown the draft to Mike.
okay,
Town administrator. And he seems to be fine with it.
Yeah.
So. The insurance is the only thing I'm worried about, because I don't think it's that much for him. Because I think it's really only $300 a year to cover $2 million, something like that.
oh, so do we pay the insurance for him?
No, he's gonna pay the insurance. So if like $300,000 a year, it'll not be really,
So-
you know, it's not gonna really take a lot out of his, you know, his pay raise. But I'm not exactly sure if you know, if it gets past $1,000 a year, it's questionable whether he wants to do that. And so I think he's looking for that, but I think that there are ones out there that are $300, $400 a month, but there are some that are like $1,000+
A month or a year?
a year. But you know, the $85 an hour may become $83 now because of this actuality. Almost $1,000, you've been looking back at, you know, high 60s.
Right.
That's the problem with this. So I think that, you know, if we do 85 or this, you know, I'm just trying to figure out, we stay on the $10,000 because we have to do not a bid, but some other technique we have to do.
Oh, we gotta put out the bid to 3 people. For three,
It's not a bid, it's another
another term for them.
term for it, it's, what's it called? It's, request, something like that, request. We have to actually ask for people to bring in their bids, yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'd rather have him.
Well,
Yeah, you know.
so why don't we just make him the offer and people?
Yeah.
You're saying we gotta do 85 because if we do more than that, he'll go over the 10,000, we'll have to. We might not get him.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. We may have to do the actual testing for that, so you have a bid test.
Do you have an average number of hours he's billed for the last couple of years?
Yeah, like how.
This is what I have here, this is just estimate stuff, to see how payment 80 hours, 90 hours, 9,000,
So I see an estimated 100 hours a year.
yes. And this is with, you know, the actual inspections he does, 60 inspections, which would be too high, actually. So 40 hours at 30 inspections, 40 hours per 30 inspections.
Yeah, so like 80 plus some time.
Well, you have to do it twice a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year, so every restaurant has to be, so you get 30 restaurants to be done 60 times. Because it has to be done twice a year, every 6 months. I mean. So, but this, I think, is actually worked out, that $90 per hour, get you close to $99,000 a year. I like that age.
Let's do 90.
I would argue for that as well. He's done a good job. He's been with us a long time.
Yeah.
I hate for him to see not a pay cut, but not much of a pay increase because he has to get insurance and stuff.
Right, and then,
And just take care of him.
and then we leave him, we don't, might not be. May get someone who comes out and says, oh, I need 3 hours for this restaurant.
That's the thing, right? Yeah, we know he's efficient.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We know people know how to work with him. I think
Yes.
it's just, again, this is my opinion. I think we let him be and we
Yes,
take care of him.
yeah,
Because we've worked for the town for a long time.
Yeah.
I read over here, with our current estimates about 100 hours per year. The consultant would remain under the $10,000 limit, even at 90,000 per hour.
Nice.
90, no, 90,
Man, I wish I knew.
90.
That'd be amazing.
90 per hour. 90,000? What am I doing in this job?
I would have planned 1 year. That'd be good.
Yeah,
All right, so $90 an hour. Fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd pay for the insurance. Leave and then $5 for the insurance.
I like that idea. That way it gives them some flexibility. Like John was saying, it could be between 300 and 1,000. Let's say it's in the upper end of that. At least we've done our part to sort of try to mitigate that to an extent. Or cover that to an extent.
Someone's good to keep them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's bad. Okay, so. So I move to increase Angela's hourly rate to $90 per hour effective July 1st, 2026, subject to the available department funds and to the execution of a professional services contract for an amount under $10,000.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. Was approved. $80 an hour for Angelo de la Font.
have you ever met him?
I think I met him one time. Honestly, we don't have to have him come here because he knows what he's doing. He works with John and that's the end of it.
we haven't had any food illness outbreak in this town since he's been here.
And you like him, so.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, so.
knock on wood.
We have
Yeah,
to, we have to keep him, yeah.
Okay, do we have 2 months of meeting minutes or just one?
It's just one.
Oh, we have this, other thing on this.
Okay, so meeting minutes.
Yeah.
For the last ones.
Let me see, what's it on now? Hold on a minute. Let's see.
You're back.
I was gonna say, so when I look in the meeting minute folder, I see 2, but I don't know. If it's, well, I see April, but it said it was modified a month ago, so maybe it was done and it just needs to be moved.
It's big fruit paper.
I thought we did.
Let's see. Approved, it says approved on it, so it was approved.
Okay, so it's just still in there.
Yeah, still on there. This is approved on it. So May,
Yeah, and it says.
May is draft.
I was gonna say in our May draft, it also says that we did that.
Okay.
So we have to go through and approve the meeting minutes. You're exempt this time since you weren't there and you can't verify what was done.
Okay.
Just hang out, you know. Oh, fast, don't worry.
I don't have to get up for work tomorrow, so.
I work for you.
So under 720, I think we just want to be clear in the second line. It says Sam's ice cream truck was attempting to sell from his truck. I think we just want to be clear. It's like ice cream or food goods or something like that, because you could read that as he was selling drugs. You know,
I screw someone with a change there.
so maybe was attempting to sell food goods or something, maybe.
Some ice cream, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ice cream.
Whatever you want to put.
Put ice cream. From his truck for seasonal license date, and so license.
I saw him on the highway like a couple weeks after that. I was really surprised. It was not his dad. And John, that all got taken care of.
Yes.
Cool. Under beaver issues, number 4. Did you guys get that worked out? For Islet Road?
Yes, I think I talked to the DPW commissioner and he says they may have to load or trap them sometime probably in the fall or November, because then the town has the rights to do without having to come to the Board of Health for that. That's the only way that can happen,
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, because the board classically hasn't issued it.
Okay. Okay, so the line above 821. Yeah, so up, there you go. Operator can perform the sampling. As per,
Can perform,
I think that's what it was.
Full, not firm. Yeah.
The rest looks right to me.
is that perform spelling right or wrong?
Take that.
PRE,
That's correct, but then it's
FOR.
FORM.
oh. F, O. Yeah, that's right.
There you are. Are you good? Okay, I make a motion to approve the May 5th, 2026 Board of Health meeting minutes as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, the meeting minute, I watched our meeting.
Oh, did you watch the meeting?
All of
Actually, yeah.
It's
They're one of the
dedication.
few viewers on YouTube.
I was gonna,
Yeah, it's one of the 32. I watched the select board meetings, I watched the finance committee meeting.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
you should ask if he saw that one meeting.
Which one?
Which one meeting's that?
That one got edited. though,
That
didn't
was
it?
edited. We had.
Oh, yeah, oh my God.
when I was
Oh, my
doing the-
God.
We had a, what do they call it?
We had some-
Bomber or what
So
is
I don't know what they
it?
call it, but we had a rogue attendee that started sharing things
Yeah,
Oh, things that shouldn't be shared.
yeah.
with anybody.
I was like,
Yeah, the select board's meeting down the hall tonight too.
So this saves itself, right? I don't have to save it.
Correct.
It's automatically saved
if
itself.
you were doing it in the Dropbox, then
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 8:37. On our list is the director's report and the Richdale State Tobacco suspension.
Yes, he didn't pay any taxes, he didn't pay his taxes. Wow.
Yeah, just about.
Hear all of that.
For the state, yeah.
That'll do it.
Oops.
Wait, what's going on? What's going on? Do you wanna put,
Under Richdale's first.
Rich Dale's first and my direction is, we went first? Want that?
Yeah.
I mean, I could just tell you what it's about, actually.
Okay, so we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Gonna say, I don't.
It's got nothing to do with us, really.
Okay.
It has to do with the DOR, Department of Revenue. Well, let me read it here, let me see. Yeah, you guys can see, it's okay. So Richdale's food shop in Millis is facing serious enforcement action by Massachusetts Department of the Revenue, DOR, after state police and tax officials seize untaxed tobacco and nicotine products from the store, December 22nd, 2025. As a result, the shop received a warning for a violation involving cigars, smoking tobacco, a 90-day suspension of its cigarette smokeless tobacco retail license, and a full revocation of its electronic nicotine delivery systems vape license. All tied to possessing and selling untaxed or improperly sourced products in violation of state tax laws. These penalties mean the store must stop selling certain tobacco products for the suspension period and permanently cease selling vape products unless successfully appealed, with the risk of further legal action if violation continues. Reported that Richdale is asking for a court hearing regarding this, so nothing's happening now. So this is a court hearing, like some kind of, I talked to the owner and somehow they're bringing court action. So,
Okay. So it's between them and the state,
yes,
and we don't have to do any monitoring or anything, the state does it all.
yeah,
Cool.
and this is just the
We had issues with their selling things.
Yeah, they still do a mining.
Yeah.
Suspension.
Yeah. Like someone needs to button up what they do.
start this meeting. This is my food inspections.
I was gonna ask, what is North Border?
That's the one that's doing it,
Was that at the home?
it's the one with the Wag Brew,
Like,
the truck up front.
Yeah.
It's a mobile. And he's done it out of Boston, but he came to this
Oh, okay.
and he's Mexican food. And it's, he's out there doing that and it's pretty good.
That
it's
was,
a barbecue
I get
place.
seafood every week, so you order seafood.
Yeah.
More than one truck outside there, regular.
Hmm?
There's more than one food truck outside of regular.
Really?
There was on.
There's a barbecue
Saturday
list. Yeah, on Saturday, there's a bar.
Yeah, I think they are doing a couple licenses on that.
But each truck each truck has to get a license here, right?
Yeah, they get a license from us. I know there's 2 or 3 ones that came in their office. One of them I have to inspect because they're longer than just a couple days.
Yeah.
Don't a month. This person's gonna be there like 6 months, something like that to inspect them. But,
Yeah, what's North Border? Is that a restaurant?
was that,
Is it the last one? The north border.
that's the one outside the, Wag Brew. Yeah, that's,
Oh, okay.
it's relatively new, this place, like within a month or so.
And you inspected the brew as well, right? The Waga brew or some, not here, but previously, or you or Angelo did, right?
Thinks they serve.
Wagyu Brew, they don't have necessarily, and I talked to the state on this as well, the Wag Brew it's not doing any actual food making in that. It's such ways that have the outside mobile. They have nothing to do with it.
I assumed they were making the beer on site, are they not?
They're selling beer, but we have nothing to do with that at all,
Okay.
because we don't, alcohol is different,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean?
State inspection.
State, yeah. Yeah. And they probably get, select board has to, okay it or something like that.
But why was there a carbonation fee earlier than for the other? Wasn't the other one a brewery as well?
We are, we're not.
Yeah, that's a factory, that's a,
Oh, I just wanted to be clear. So that's on like water or something. That is not on.
Yeah, for water and.
I thought it was the beer they were making. Okay.
yeah, they do beer, alcohol, but also do just water
Okay.
as well.
That's out of our purview. So
Yeah,
of all the things we do, you think alcohol would be in the purview? That definitely affects health.
Yeah.
Okay.
35 inspections and reports,
Yeah, let them.
is just inspections and reports, Title V inspection, failed, pass. We've had a few this month.
Yeah, there's a
A
lot.
lot of people moving, selling or something like that, whatever. Septic tests, it's on Dover, septic final. 26 Bulliard Perk. IA testing. These,
Is the Stony Book repeat worth discussing or no?
that's the batch,
Oh, the
it's
bats.
a batch.
Okay.
And there was a potential problem, and I got talked to the management there because a person that lived there got bit by the attic bats. And they didn't think they had a wildlife person go in there in the fall, didn't clear it out fast enough. And so I said, I gave him an order like 2 weeks ago, we gotta do it now, because it's a hazard. And they've gotta find some way of, even though they're under protection, the bats, if it's an emergency situation, they have to get rid of it. So I said, go to the state, get something, because this is a dangerous situation right now. So that's that.
And the person is tested or treated for rabies, right?
I think she had the rabies shots, just in case.
Yeah.
You never really know.
Right.
It's the problem with these diseases.
I was gonna say we couldn't test them.
You know what I mean?
You don't want rabies.
No, cause you don't get to that,
Yeah.
you die.
Yeah.
187 Pleasant Street.
Yeah, it's actually the 3. And that's gonna be interesting one. I think
Like staying in Peru, that's just abandoned property.
yeah, that's an interesting one too. Then I answered the door for me, and I've had been down there 3 times. They don't answer the door. The neighbors said they are in there. And they got a fence that's collapsed. They got a ground pool that's filled up, stagnant. You have kids that could go in it. Yeah, they could. And I don't know what's going on. And it's an interesting question I've got to talk, because you always go to courts with these housing courts. It's more complicated today than it used to be. When I was in Randolph, I used to go to, Quincy District Court, and I was able to do it myself. I'd have a problem if they didn't pay it, they didn't pay the fines, they didn't do the job, and went to court. That simple. Now with the housing court. I went down the other day because I've got a problem with another thing that I've been dealing with. Went to the court, they said, where's the attorney? I said, what do you mean the attorney? I'm applying, I'm gonna, do this myself. They said, no, we require the town attorneys to represent you.
Wow.
So I'm going to MTC and saying, I need one of your guys, and it's, to see if it works out this way. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Because it takes. The MTC is busy, and so, they've got to be able to do it as well. So it's, it's one of those things we have to use the attorneys now. But they may be busy in other areas, and I don't, I'm not necessarily getting an okay from them, so we'll see how it works. So. Well testing, so we have this well test. 25 Birch Street, I think they came out okay. Thinking well, potential sales, 25 Birch Street, the one that had the fire.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They're putting a new septic in. Because they failed the septic, because before I wrote you a letter like a month ago about this, and they. Talk about the whole thing about where the water really is. And they had a leach pump, it was almost like a cesspool there. It was built in 1994. So it had a tank before. And, you look at that, and they did it in September. And when you look at it was 4 feet below it, 3 feet below it. It's like, my God, they saw the water 3 feet below it and 3 feet below it in September. What does it look like in March? It's probably above it. So, so it's failed apparently, which is probably a pretty good idea. And they got drinking water, so they're gonna sell the property now, so they have to do it. I think they passed it. I think we got something the other day. The PFAS and these POCs, everything was passed. It's good. Pesticides, things like that. And we had these two, we had a lot of people. Yeah, we had 4 in the last month or 2, something like that. Selling, they had drinking water, drinking wells. They all passed. I think, I don't know if one might be in the open still, but I think these all passed. I can't remember these. I can't remember them. Might be one that's not there, but I think they're all passing right now. Items, training and stuff like that. Full permits. Testing regulation meeting, that Thursday, I had it with, Glenn, yeah. That's that.
Yep. That date for the meeting. That's all of it.
So.
Yeah, here for now. Okay. A motion to close the Board of Health meeting for June 15th at 8:50 PM. Second. Hey, all in favor?
Hi.
Hey, we are adjourned.